Guys, so let's just jump right to this. It's Chase, and I, at age 14, had stage 4 endometriosis. So basically, when I was 12 years old, they found oh jeez, the dog. They found a 9 centimeter cyst on one of my ovaries, which is ginormous, especially for a 12-year-old. Like, seriously, that's freaking huge. But they found that, and it burst on its own, which, holy painful. But yeah, it did that, and then we'll roll back to that was basically the start of the endometriosis, but we just didn't know it. So yeah. Anyways, when I was 14 years old, my mom had mentioned to her gynecologist that I was like bleeding, through tampons, through my pads, even with the tampons in them, and my bleeding was so heavy that basically we needed help. And the pain was so bad that everybody was, oh my, the dog. Everybody was like, I don't know. It was just bizarre, but I didn't know any better. I was just a 14-year-old kid that didn't really understand what a period was. I just figured this is what I was going to have to deal with, and that was that. Um, After the obvious trauma that it put me through, because being trans, obviously, it comes with some trauma. Yeah. So yeah, with that being said, um anyway, my mom mentioned all of this to the gynecologist, like basically how I had no schedule whatsoever. I could be bleeding for 2, 3 months and then stop for a week and then start bleeding again. And it was just insane, off the wall. It was just stupid. That's what it was. It was just stupid. Anyway, um, that was hard. Yeah, very. Back to the point. The gynecologist that my mother was talking to was well, not was, she said to my mom that to bring, at the time, her in right away. I'm 99% sure I know what she has. And my mom brought me in to see her, and oh, I had that damn exam, and nobody wants to hear any of that. It's just anyway. Um, I had all that, and she was like, "Yeah, we're gonna schedule you for surgery." So I had surgery 2 weeks after that, and my surgery was August 11th, 2008. I will never remember that day. Basically, when you think that life can't get any worse, it always can. Trust me. They were in, well, I was in the operating room, and they found so much scar tissue that she was dumbfounded by it all. She told my mom, or she told my parents that were in the waiting room for, that was supposed to be 2 hours, um, seven, turned out to be 7 hours. She told them that the amount of scar tissue that she found was equivalent to someone that had been bleeding for 60 years. So to be compared to like a 70-year-old is pretty intense. Not cool. So yeah, basically, I remember my mom saying that she was more afraid during my uh my stomach surgery than she was for my brain surgery, just because all the fear had like kind of just drifted away from the brain surgery. But it was, I don't know, with the stomach surgery, nobody really told my mom what was going on during it. And my dad's not one, he can't just sit there, so he was kind of like just around when he could be. And just up and down, back and forth, home, whatever. And finally, somebody came out. The first thing that I remember, my mom telling me that the surgeon told my mom, the first thing they said was, "She's okay, but," the "but" is where it gets. So, basically, she had nicked a piece of she had nicked my bowel while removing the very last piece of scar tissue that was in there. She had nicked my bowel. So, fuck my life. But basically, um, all in all, that being said, what have you, if that dog does not shut up, I don't know. Anyway, she nicked my bowel, and that caused me to be under anesthesia for 7 hours. I had a catheter, I had everything, but my legs were up in stirrups, and they were up in the stirrups for 7 hours. And the 7 hours that they were up there, one of them was on too tight. So one of the leg, nah, I totally just messed that up. Rewind. I can't. Anyway, I had the blood pressure cuffs on to make that, basically they just squeeze your legs like every few seconds, like every 5 or 10 seconds, just to prevent blood clots from happening. But yeah, um, anyway, one of them they put on too tight. So yeah, basically I lost all the oxygen in my leg for 7 hours. So when I woke up, the first thing they asked me was how I felt. I was yelling, "My leg hurts, my leg hurts." And they were like, "What?" It was like, "My leg hurts." And they took the blood pressure cuff off, and um, they found out that I had, well, I mean, by the looks of my leg, um, they were rushing me everywhere, from MRIs to CTs to even ultrasounds to make sure that I had no blood clots. But seriously, this was like a very long event. It took forever. Like it didn't take forever because they were obviously working really quickly, but it was just such a fast-paced thing, and everybody was like rushing around, and I had to go here and here and here and here. And luckily, they were giving me like mild anesthetics and whatnot, just to keep me calm, because I say I was more autistic back then because I was. I mean, I was more severely autistic, and I freaked out a lot. But anyway, they were doing all that, and they didn't find a blood clot, but then after the last MRI that I had, they came in the room and they said, "You lost all of the muscles to your leg. Sorry." So I lost all the muscles to my leg. Great. I couldn't walk. My leg was stuck like I should have been a ballerina or something. I don't even know. But I was stuck in the tippy toe position for 8 months. And that's when I learned to walk again. But yeah. So I had to learn how to walk again, and I did, because I knew if I didn't push myself, then I would end up where I wouldn't want to be, which is kind of like where I am now, but oh well. Anyway, um, so I pushed myself through physical therapy, got my leg into remission, I was okay, and then it came back. When I was like 17, it came back for about a year, went into remission again, and ever since I was 18, 19, it's been back full blown. I'm now 22, and I've been suffering with RSD for 7 years now. It'll be 8 years this August. So, yeah. If you don't know what RSD is, It is called reflex sympathetic disorder, also now called CRPS, chronic regional pain syndrome. But even my pain management specialist said he'd never seen somebody that was so full bodied, like even down to the trunk. He just used that as an example. Like it's even in my face, like just the feeling of air in my face is just awful. I just can't describe it. But I take morphine and Percocet, well, oxycodone, acetaminophen, the tens. I take those every day, and it's one of those, hope for the best kind of things. But yeah, so that's my endometriosis story, and it sucked. It was bad. I was in the hospital for a week, and luckily, I was put on antibiotics right away, and they had a surgeon come in, and they stitched me up laparoscopically. I don't even know, but yeah. So that's my endometriosis story, the embarrassing story of my manhood. But yeah, so that's that. If you guys have any other similar stories or would be willing to share any of your life experiences that might have made you feel a little less manly or whatnot, just it is what it is, You're not any less of a man because you had to deal with more than the average woman would have had to. And it's just, I mean, it's hard for me, but just you need to know that you are not any less of a man that, some dude walking down the street. That's a biological guy. He's he, whatever. But you're not less of a man of because of a label or because of what you had or what conditions you might have. And I know that I'm going to qualify for a hysterectomy, but I'm not even going to go near that until my chest surgery is done. And I'm also going to need my batteries replaced, which is a whole other story as to why I have batteries in my that lead to my brain. And yeah, my life's a fucking mess. But anyway, that's that. But just know that you are not any less of a man because of what you have gone through. And you are not any less of a man if you're not on tea. You're not any less of a man if you don't have a beard. You're not any less of a man if you sound feminine. You are who you identify as, and you should know that because that is who you are, and who you are is who you are. So just be you. Love yourself. Take care, guys.